guys, and welcome back to another one of these episodes where I'm doing a review of one of the Simpsons Treehouse of Horrors. I know I fell several days behind, Rita's a week behind in these, so hopefully I can catch back up. I'm literally the worst at trying to do any kind of month-long challenge things, as we see every time that I try and do one. But I think y'all are beginning to see exactly why I failed at anything like homework, because as soon as I miss one day of something, my brain takes it as permission to just slack off on all the things for the rest of forever. So, just dang itself, stop being like that, be better. But anyways, so we are on Treehouse of Horror number 4, which is from the 5th season, I believe. And this one, once I realized what all was in it, I was like, oh, I remember this one. This one's probably got to be one of the most vivid ones I remember watching as a little kid, partly because it scared the poop out of me as a teeny little kid, and also because it kind of gave me several hang-ups from watching it. The Simpsons were responsible for a lot of my emotional and mental hang-ups I had as a small child, which probably proof that I shouldn't have been watching it as young as I was, but I digress. So this is the episode that has the Devil and Homer Simpson, which of course makes me think of that Monkeys episode, The Devil and Peter Tork. More or less same storyline too. There is it Nightmare at 5.5 feet or Terror at 5.5 feet? It's one of those anyway, and then there's Bart Simpson's Dracula. So, I must say that the Devil and Homer Simpson one, my brain must have really magnified that one in my head, because I, for some reason, thought it was its own episode. I didn't even realize it was part of the Treehouse of Horror series. I thought it was its own standalone thing. But, sorry, I have an itchy nose. But, regardless, so in this one, it's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. Homer gets into a contract with the devil. I believe it's because Lenny and Carl ate the last donuts at work, and he was like, I would give anything for a donut. And Devil Flanders appears, because of freaking course Flanders would be the devil, because it's always the one you least suspect. Which is an actual quote in the show, but that line right there, as a very small child raised in a super uber Catholic household, my brain interpreted that as, so as long as you suspect somebody of being the devil, they can't actually be the devil if it's always the one you least suspect, right? So this, just right off the bat, primed me for being suspicious of everyone all the time with no reason. And I really couldn't explain it to anybody, because how do you explain, as a small child, that you have to suspect they're the devil to guarantee that they're not the devil? I probably should have been in therapy, just saying. So anyway, Flanders is the devil, which is super ironic, and that's exactly why they did it. But, he basically lays it out on the table that, sure, he can totally hook Homer up with a donut. And it'll be the most amazing donut ever. In exchange for his soul. And I think, he hadn't even finished saying it by the time Homer had, scarfed down all except for, the last bite. And the devil had to go and say something along the lines of, okay, but as soon as you eat that last bite, your soul goes to me. Hello, issue number 2 that I internalized from this episode, that I will be 100% honest, I still, on and off, go through streaks where all of a sudden this rears its head again, where for years, my entire childhood, I think my entire teens, into my 20s, I would never eat the final bite of anything just in case, even though I'm not the one that entered into a contract with the devil or anything for, Homer's motives here, and yet I was just so anxiety-ridden, I was convinced that, oh shit, anything you eat the last bite of, your soul goes to the devil. The fact that I still, in like really bad anxiety streaks, default back to this and stop eating the very last bite of things is absolutely ridiculous. Because I know it's a cartoon and it's not real. And yet, my brain... Try telling that to my subconscious. Just try. But anyway, I digress. But Homer being Homer, we all know exactly what he does here. He makes it to, like, middle of the night snacking, and he forgets, and he eats the damn thing. And of course, Devil Flanders shows up, and he's there to claim his soul, and Marge goes on a tangent about how he deserves a fair trial, so okay, he launches into a trial with all these criminals that are the jury, which, again, like the Devil and Peter Tork, but, it goes about how you would expect, and it looks like he's going to hell until Marge says, wait, there's something you need to see. And she brings out this old photo album, and there's one picture from their wedding night, I believe it was, where they'd ended up, like, in the ER. But on the back of one of the photos, Homer had said something about pledging his soul to Marge for all eternity. Which means that the devil can't claim it because it already belongs to Marge. Case closed. And they all voted that way. And he would have been off the hook, except Devil Flanders is a very vengeful devil. And he's like, fine, I'm still punishing you, though, for screwing me over. And he changed Homer's head into a giant donut. And there's that famous line about, Homer, stop picking at it. But I'm so tasty and delicious. I think I paraphrased it, but you get the point, but it's so stupid, it's funny, but oh my god, just the fact that that damn episode burned its way into my brain so deeply as a tiny child to where it literally gave me issues over it. And to the point where I thought it was like the entire episode. I totally magnified that in my head to think it was the whole half hour, but no. So the second one was kind of anticlimactic after that. It was like, Bart's on the bus to school, and just like that Looney Tunes episode with the gremlin on the wing of the plane, in this, there's a gremlin on the side of the school bus that only Bart can see. It plays out exactly how you would expect it to, and that's really about all there is to say about that one. Not the most exciting one. And then finally, the last one in this trilogy was Bart Simpson's Dracula, which I did like. Mr. Burns is like Dracula in this one, and he tries to con the Simpsons into coming over for dinner because he wants to suck their blood, obviously. He's a vampire. But, there's like this whole vampire, what's the word I'm looking for? Coven is witches. Well, regardless, he has a shit ton of them down in the basement with him. So Bart and Lisa happen upon it, and they try to warn everybody, and they won't listen, and it goes pretty much exactly how you'd expect it to. I think there was, like, a plot twist ending on it that I don't want to give away in case you haven't seen it, but it's a fun one, if disturbing as a small child, but I'm an adult now, so it doesn't bother me in the slightest now. It was just like, oh man, I forgot that one was a thing. I remember the first one, but I forgot about that one entirely. And looking at what all's coming up next, I'm like, oh, I remember these are like the wheelhouse years where I was just like, I rewatched these so many times, but anyway, my rating for this one. I think I'll rate it a 4 out of 5, only because of that middle segment just being meh. I mean, it's okay, it's not terrible, but it's not the greatest, especially when stacked up against the other two parts. But I think the middle segment usually is the weakest one out of the three, so nothing new there. So, Anyway, guys, that is it for this one. So as usual, you know what to do. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you're not already and you'd like to be, click subscribe, hit that notification bell icon so you never miss an upload, leave comments down below. Make sure you're following my social media accounts, my Facebook fan page, my Twitter, my Instagram, my Etsy, everything and more. And if you like what I do here on this channel and you'd like to help support it, the donation link, as always, is down in the description. Get your name on the end card for a month from the time of donating. Anyway, guys, till next time, bye-bye.